Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna let go. Hey everybody, Brian and I bought a house. I am sitting in, it's like a built-in like bunk bed sort of situation. It's like a sleeping nook. It was where the people before us who lived here's daughter slept, and now it's just gonna be a reading nook, a mystical reading nook in our guest room. Anyway, I'm painting it right now, but I thought while I paint, maybe I can just tell the story of how we got a house. I figured I'd talk a little bit about the process of buying a house in case anybody has never done it before or is thinking about doing it. So Brian and I got interested in getting a house at the beginning of the pandemic, just like every other millennial. We were looking for a while, and then the housing market kind of blew up and everything got really expensive. We couldn't really afford the house that we wanted, so we were like, never mind. Fast forward a few years, the housing market here in Chicago kind of settled down, which just means that houses were a little more affordable. Also, Denise bought a house, and that really inspired us. Actually, Denise was the one who hooked us up with her mortgage lender back in January. That was kind of like the first step. You meet with a mortgage lender and you give them all of your information and you tell them about all the money that you've ever saved in your whole life, and then they tell you what kind of a house you can afford. He told us that we could afford a house. Actually, we were kind of surprised by what our budget ended up being. It's kind of interesting. Brian and I together were able to afford a certain amount. I can't tell if you're looking at me or not. I don't have anyone to help me. Brian is in a meeting. Don't make fun of the way I'm painting if you can see. I can't even tell if you can see it. So we met with the mortgage lender, and then all of a sudden he was like, start sending me houses that like look good to you. I'll tell you what the breakdowns would be, just so you can get an idea of what is out there. Kind of what we were looking for was a house with a fenced-in backyard, and we really wanted something kind of along the North Branch Trail, which is this like it's a bike trail that goes through all these different forest preserves from Chicago all the way up north to the Botanic Gardens. Actually, the North Branch Trail is what Brian and I did the day that we got engaged. He proposed to me after we biked the North Branch Trail, and it's just meant a lot to us. This house popped up along kind of the southern tip of the North Branch Trail, and we were like, hey, Rich, that was the name of a mortgage lender, what is this one's deal? Like, would we ever be able to afford it? What's it like? And then he was like, if you want, I could send my guy Brett, he's a realtor, and he could meet you there and you could do your very first house tour. And then next thing we know, Brett becomes our best friend. He's texting us like many times a day. We talk on the phone with him every day. You know, it took a while for us to get to know each other, but then once we did, it's like, hey Brett, what's up? What do we got going today? We're sending Brett houses, he's sending us houses. We're going to see houses. On the first day, we did like our first like major tour of multiple houses in one day. We saw what we thought was our dream house. It was in Morton Grove, Illinois, and it was right by the entrance to one of our favorite forests. We were like, what does it mean to put an offer in a house? And he's like, it basically just means you tell them like, I'd like to buy your house. And I was like, so we don't have to give any money to anyone? He was like, not unless they accept your offer, and then you put money toward an inspection. You don't have to put like a certain amount down until like your offer gets accepted, the inspection is looked at, and then you can start putting in earnest money towards the house. Earnest money basically just means like a certain chunk of the percentage of your down payment. So anyway, we were like, well, should we just put an offer in on this house? And he's like, yeah, I think you should. So we put an offer in on our first house, the first like main weekend that we went looking at houses. We found out pretty much the next day that our offer was not accepted. It was outbid. Then we saw this house that I thought was our dream house. It was also in Morton Grove, right by a forest. Literally, we would walk out the front door and turn to the left, and that's the forest. In fact, one of our windows would overlook a field going into the forest. It was my dream, but Brian and I were not aligned on this because the house itself was kind of like boring. It was a little small, didn't have a lot of character, and he felt like it was gonna need a lot of updates. I didn't really care about that. All I cared about was the nature around it. It didn't matter. By the time we got home, somebody else had already put an offer in and got it accepted. Then we saw a third house, same area in Morton Grove. This house kind of checked all our boxes. It had a fenced-in yard. It was old and had a lot of character. It was just like a short walk away from the forest. I guess I should move this so I don't get paint on it. Okay, I just moved it with my butt. So put an offer down, and find out that not only was our offer not accepted, but we were outbid in cash by $100,000. $100,000 cash. We don't know who these people are, but they took our dream house from us. At this point, it had been a couple months. We were starting to get really discouraged. And then, I think April 3rd-ish, we came to see this house. Actually, our realtor, Brett, couldn't be there with us. He had plans with his son. So we were really nervous. We had to do it on our own. We were like, Brett, we don't know what we're doing. It's also a private showing. He had gotten us in special for a private showing. Like this house wasn't actually on the market yet. There were like 12 different like groups walking through the house. We were like, Brett, there's no way we're gonna get this house. There's a lot of people here looking at it. It's so cute, not too far from the North Branch Trail. It's much closer to our old apartment in Chicago than the Morton Grove houses. Also, we could not afford to pay more than this house was being sold for, which in today's market, you can't get a house unless you bid over asking price. And Brett was like, let me talk to their agent and see what they're looking for. I was in the backyard and I did something really sneaky. I went to this big beautiful tree that is in what is now our backyard. There were all these beautiful pine cones all over the ground, and I like to collect pine cones and rocks and sticks and shit. You guys know that. I picked up a pine cone and I took it home. And then I put crystals around it and lit some candles and like kind of did a little bit of a witchy spell asking for the house. Is that inappropriate? I don't know. So the nice thing about the fact that we had an apartment and like the best landlord in the world at our old apartment is that we had a very flexible timeline. Turns out the couple who was living here was looking for a flexible timeline because they hadn't found a house yet. They had 2 kids, they had a bunch of stuff. Sorry, I'm like just not facing the camera right now. So anyway, they wanted a flexible timeline. We could give them that. And we were like, we'll close on the house May 3rd and start paying the mortgage starting in May. And you can stay in there up until June 30th at noon. That's how we got our offer accepted. It was the best feeling in the world. We close on our house tomorrow, and so Ryan and I are going on a date to a spa right now. This is a present for my brother and sister-in-law. So we're gonna go to a spa and get massages. We did our second to last walkthrough last night because we'll do another one when they move out. We don't know when they're gonna move out. They have to find a house first. As of last week, they hadn't found a house yet.
It's like, you guys want some help? You guys want some help?
I hear closing is wild. We already know there's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars of closing costs, including title insurance, which sounds insane to me. But yeah, we're gonna do it. On our way to close on our house.
It's a rainy day.
What matters is the way it ends. They've got 16 mutual friends. Animal spirits. Heartfelt lyrics.
We did it! We bought our house!
It's ours.
Everything is
Literally
Animal
ours.
spirits. Heartfelt lyrics.
To our new home.
Then between the time that we had our offer accepted and we actually got the keys, we kind of had like a 3-part move planned. The first 2 parts were getting some secondhand furniture. So Brian has COVID, but yesterday we were supposed to be going and picking up a bunch of furniture, like from my friend Sarah's neighbor. And we got a U-Haul and we got a storage unit to store everything in. Here you go, baby. There you go. Get that dinosaur head. Yeah. On Friday, Brian tested positive for COVID, so we were like, what are we gonna do? So all day Friday we like scrambled and I was trying to make a plan where like I was still involved and moving this furniture, and then finally my friend Sarah was like, I think that this is a time when it's okay for you to ask for help for your own mental health and for everybody else's safety, because the likelihood of me getting COVID from Brian is pretty high. We slept in a bed together. Long story short, I finally asked for help, which I have trouble doing, especially for something like this. This is a pretty huge favor. Our friend Greg went and got the U-Haul for us, drove it to my friend Sarah's building, and then Sarah, Greg, Clark, and Alyssa packed the the U-Haul full of this furniture. Then they drove it up, checked into our storage unit, and put everything into our storage unit. It was like the ultimate act of amazing friendship, and we're so lucky to have such amazing friends. I'm feeling a ton of guilt about it, but I'm also so thankful. The furniture we were getting from this person is like gonna also be a lifesaver. Okay, today is move part 2. My brother and my sister-in-law have graduated from residency, and now they're about to start their fellowship, which is gonna be in LA. So they're moving from a big old house in Ann Arbor, Michigan to a 700 square foot apartment in LA, and they're getting rid of like everything. The timing is perfect for us because we move next week. Whoa. Is it really? Wow. Okay, we have a lot to do. So we're getting a bunch of free furniture from my brother and sister-in-law. We're gonna pack it up in a U-Haul. We've hired movers here. Then Brian's gonna drive the U-Haul back to Chicago while I drive with Luna. And then we hired movers in Chicago to unload everything into our storage unit. So that's what today is, part 2. And then part 3 will be the actual move out of our apartment into our new home. This is so sad. We've had so many great memories here.
Who else this house?
Way too sad. These movers packed up this U-Haul full of furniture. We're gonna go get Luna from Brian's mom's, and then we're heading back to Chicago. And then the rest of our time spent was just packing our old apartment, trying to savor every moment. I mean, we lived there for 5 years. We got engaged in that apartment. We kind of like rekindled our love in that apartment. We were really sad to leave it, but luckily our friends are taking over our lease, so that means that we get to see our apartment again. And we get to go over there whenever we want. And Becca still lives on the 1st floor. She's one of our best friends. I couldn't have been happier with how that worked out. Brian is paying me his last rent.
Yes, I am.
This is our last time paying rent in this apartment. Oh, I'm getting sad. I love this apartment so much.
Me too.
But our friends are moving in, so we'll be able to come visit all the time. It's our last 2 weeks in this apartment, and we're trying to soak up our favorite restaurants. So last night we ordered cozy noodles and rice, and tonight we ordered Jimmy's Pizza, our favorite pizza. I mean, look at this thing. Yeah! We're on our way for our first date post-COVID.
And we're coughing up a storm.
We're just trying to get to all our favorite restaurants. I'm packing, which means Mamma Mia is gonna be on all day, baby. We're gonna watch Mamma Mia, we're gonna watch Mamma Mia, here we go again. We're gonna put them on, and then when they end, we're gonna start them over. That's what moving and packing is all about! Then we were gonna get the keys on June 30th at noon, and we decided not to move out of our apartment until July 3rd. We would have time to come here, paint things, and get it ready for us to move in. Today we get the keys to our house.
It's a big day for everybody. Luna, you're gonna see the new house today.
It's gonna be a big day. And then we're gonna clean our whole house and start to prime some walls. I'm in the car, sitting with a plant on my lap. I have so many plants to bring to the new house, but we're about to go get the keys to the new house. I put on makeup and stuff, and I'm wearing my I Love Brian earrings, just in case we get a photo in front of the house. I want to look cute. We're gonna drop some stuff at Goodwill, and then we have a ton of cleaning supplies in the trunk. We're just gonna like get there, start cleaning, and then we're gonna make a couple more trips back and forth. And then at one point we'll bring Luna so she can start exploring the house and getting used to it. Okay, back in the car because we got the keys, but I didn't film anything because the folks were there who lived there before us. I wanted to give them their space, and also they still had some stuff they had to grab out of the house. So we just left them to it, and then came back, ate lunch, and we grabbed Looney. So we're gonna take her there now. That'll be better anyway, having like a grand entry with Looney there, because she's just as important. Are you excited, honey? We're backing into a garage that's just ours. sucks so much. I hate moving. You can hear Brian's going nuts. Oh my gosh, I still need to grab my jewelry stand and that thing hanging in the hallway right there. You know you're losing your mind and you've been doing too much packing when you pack a box that is empty and you seal it on both
Fully
sides.
taped up. This one's ready to go.
I taped it up and I went, wait, what did I just do? And then I
Hey
was
Meredith,
like,
I've got a question. Why are half the boxes in the moving truck completely empty?
it's an empty box, Brian. Well, it's the moving day.
Put your head on my knee. That's how you get treats from
Yeah,
your
when
mother.
Luna puts her chin on my leg, I'll give her a little piece of food. Which, you know what? Don't judge me. It's my favorite. We're stressed. We're sick to our stomach. We don't want to leave this apartment. We think we've made a mistake. I don't think we've made a mistake. Brian does.
I do. I'm not sick to my stomach. Stressed. But I'm 100% positive we've made a huge fucking mistake.
No, we haven't.
And for the rest of our lives, we're gonna regret this.
Gonna take Luna to doggy daycare soon so she doesn't have to be traumatized as we are.
Yeah, it definitely won't be traumatizing to never come back here again.
Stop! I'm currently hiding in Becca's apartment downstairs because she's out of town. The movers are here. They're just so nice. I can't handle being around it. They're picking up like 4 giant boxes and like strapping them to their back and then carrying them down 3 flights of stairs. And then they're just making fun jokes and being silly and great. If you've never hired movers before, it's worth every penny. I know it's expensive. Anybody who's hired movers can tell you it's the best way to use your money. It's better than anything. The movers just left. We're eating some Taco Bell, surrounded by boxes. But we can already tell how beautiful this house is going to be and we're happy. Here we are, we're in our house. We love it. I can't wait to show you all the work that we've done over the last couple weeks. Here's my question for you. Should I make a bunch of small, short DIY like house putting together videos? Or should I make one big long video of our house from start to finish? Tell me what you would rather see because I've been documenting kind of everything in like each room as we do it. I'm gonna finish painting this now, but I can't wait to show you all our home and to have many, many memories here. Thank you all for watching. Bye.